All right, so today I'm revisiting the air conditioning in the TTSaleen. So what we have is a brand new compressor, and you'll notice my low side pressure switch, I've got a jumper wire across the two wires here on the back. This is simulating the pressure switch has enough pressure. Now, just to show you what it looks like, this is the pressure switch. It literally threads in to the dryer, and that connection plugs into it. And when the pressure gets to the right setting, it makes continuity across these two, and it sends the voltage down to the compressor so it turns on. My problem was, this was intermittent. Even though I had sufficient pressure in the system, this would stay on and turn off and stay on and turn off. Now I just replaced this switch probably about, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. Now I think about it, probably about 3 years ago. I put new low and high pressure switches on it, along with O-rings, and I put a new compressor on it at the time. But like anything, nothing is made like it used to be. So as you can see right here, this thing is made in China, and it just it's just garbage. So this is what we do with stuff like this. Into the trash can it goes, and we have a replacement, which is pretty much basically the same thing, I would think. Matter of fact, it looks like the exact same thing. It says Sandtech and out of Fort Worth, Texas, but we know they all come from the same place. Pretty sure it's made in China. Let's see if I can turn this around on here. Yep, right here, made in China. So they don't have this part in stock at O'Reilly's. It's a special order part from Dorman, and I'm pretty sure it's probably the exact same thing. But AutoZone next door had it in stock, and I'm pretty sure 3 years ago I probably bought the same switch. So it's what I had to get tonight because that's what I needed. So I've got the same switch, and I'm about to put it on. Now the compressor is a brand new compressor from O'Reilly's that I put in it. I had to do the whole thing. You've seen my other videos. I had to pull a vacuum on it, pulled a vacuum for an hour, and made sure it didn't have any vacuum leaks or anything like that. And that compressor was $232. Their $10 core charge, which I got back for turning in the same compressor I bought like 3 years ago. You're probably wondering why it failed. Well, here's some of the symptoms. First thing I had to do was put Freon in it a while back after I pulled the motor out, in and out. I had the lines broke loose. I got the air working and it worked really well. The problem was the compressor wouldn't stay engaged, and I found this out because I was driving it home from Fastlane and it was hot. And it wasn't blowing cold. And then I pulled to a stoplight and it felt like it was working. And I pulled away from the stoplight and it wasn't working again. So when I got home, I realized that the compressor was clicking off and on. So I bypassed the switch and the compressor was working. But then I'd go to rev the engine, even sit here at idle, and the compressor would turn off. And what that indicates is the clutch is pretty much shot. Now they have a clutch rebuild kit for this, and it's like $130. But why go through the aggravation of changing the clutch out when for another 90 bucks, basically, you can get a brand new compressor? So that's what I did. I just decided to get a whole new compressor. So I put a compressor on it, took the old one off, and now, just in my basic test, when you rev up the motor with the air conditioner on, it stays engaged the way it's supposed to. The only problem was, I had my jumper in place, everything's working fine. I hooked the switch up, and it was intermittent. So I know I've got a switch problem as well, even at idle. So that's the point of putting a switch in it. So just a few basic things here. I'm going to change the switch now. My low and high side pressure were within spec, and it was blowing nice and cold. So hopefully this is gonna fix it, and this thing will be back 100%. But I wanted to share with you, sometimes on the hot rod, you just gotta fix stuff. Even though you put good parts on it, they fail over time. Now, I will tell you, the reason the clutch failed in this thing, or the reason it got real weak, anytime you have a car that makes a lot of horsepower, like this car clearly does, you should probably turn your air conditioning off if you gotta make a lot of boost, a lot of power. And I'm normally really good about doing that. But apparently, Once or twice I may have started making boost, like, you know, not just a quick blurp, like may have laid into it and held it through a year or two with the air conditioner on, didn't realize it. And what it's trying to do is trying to keep that, it's a clutch, just like having a clutch for your transmission. It's a clutch trying to keep the compressor engaged while it's under all that load. And basically when it's spinning up that hard and that fast, imagine that clutch trying to sustain that horsepower, you know, and torque. Same thing for your air conditioning compressor. It basically burnt the clutch up and just couldn't hold grip anymore. So mostly my fault. I'll learn just to turn the damn air conditioning off if I'm gonna start getting on it, driving it really hard. And I shouldn't have this problem anymore. Other than that, the air conditioning works really well and blows nice and cold. But some of the little pitfalls of owning a fast car and, you know, trying to have your cake and eat it too. Anyway, one of the last little things to do is just put this on. Now you won't lose Freon, you just unscrew this, you'll hear a little psst when the air comes out. It's like a valve stem seal. You screw this back on, plug in your connector, and you're good to go. Any questions, let me know. I can show you the part number on this. It's a MT0444 for a 96 to 04 Mustang that fits on the dryer. I'm sure this fits the Ford F-150s. I'm pretty sure Ford uses the exact same switch on a lot of their models, so cross-reference that with yours, but it's probably the same low side pressure switch. Like that, switch fixed all the problems. Now when I rev it up, you see it still stays engaged. That's a win in my book. And just because I like to show you that it's actually working, let's take our handy dandy temp probe. See what we got here. Like about 30 degrees coming out. I can live with it. So there you go. The famous TTSaleen street car, now with a 6-speed manual, air conditioning, power steering, runs great. Awesome car. Do I miss the automatic? Hell yeah, I miss the automatic. While that stick is fun to drive, it don't nowhere near make the boost and come in hard like it did with the auto. I miss it a lot. That car needs a turbo 400 in its life. Even a 4R70, a 6R80, if they would live, I mean, you know, the 4R70 did really well in this car, to be honest with you. I probably should have kept the 4R70 that I had in there. But, you know, you always try to be better. So, if I put anything back in it, it'll be a turbo 400 with a converter. And hopefully that thing will go the fastest it can ever go, which should be low 5s at the weight it is. And then it'll be the perfect car. I mean, already, don't get me wrong, it's been 580s, broke, crossing the finish line, coasting. So, I can drive it every day. I got air conditioning. Everything works. What more you ask for? It runs on 93 octane right now. Turned down, 18, 19 pounds of boost. It runs on 93 octane. It makes over 900 horsepower. Well, I haven't dynoed it. It'll probably make closer to 1,000 now because I have more compression. But it's just an all-around supercar. This car's been doing this for 13 years before it became just commonplace for everybody to have 1,000 horsepower. It's still a phenomenal, phenomenal car. Hope you've enjoyed the content. Follow my channel. This is what made me 98Saleen / TTSaleen. So after a nice day and everything going right, it was time to wash the old TTSaleen, get it cleaned up. So I'm now just drying everything off, getting ready to wipe the wheels off, but the car still cleans up pretty nice. It can stand a little bit of refreshing with some quick detail spray, but just to wash and dry it, it turned out pretty nice. Just kind of wiped down the engine bay and everything. And just for you wondering, normally I talk about the music I listen to. This week is the Pretty Reckless, so if you've ever listened to the Pretty Reckless, I'll show you what that looks like here. This is their song, Take Me Down. It's pretty good. I can't play but a second. Can't play but a second because YouTube will flag it, but you can look it up and listen to it. But if you recognize her, she was from the Grinch with Jim Carrey from years ago. So she's all grown up now. Cindy Lou Who. That's who that is. So she's come a long way, but pretty cool music. If you like listening to rock and roll with a lead singer as a woman, she does a kick-ass job. Her and Hellstorm, if you listen to Hellstorm, and In This Moment, those are 3 rock and roll groups with women as the lead singer. You should check them out. But the Pretty Reckless one I listened to this week, I really like the song. The song's called It's a Messed Up World. That's the edited version. It's actually the effed up world if you listen to the other version. But I will tell you, be careful if you look at the video of that. The video's a little risque, if you know what I'm saying. But don't watch it with kids around. Fair warning. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video of the TTSaleen. Again, one of my favorite cars, had a very long time. As you know, these other cars have their own personality. Talk about them in a different video. But for now, this is all about the TTSaleen and a little bit of music that I listen to when I'm in the garage hanging out. Till next time.